Hi everyone, welcome back for a new video. I finally took off the dust of my punch cards and knitted a sample, and I am so excited to share it with you. So this is how my punch card looks like. I want to knit two colors, so the holes that I punched, those needles will knit one color, and the rest that are not punched will knit a different color. As for this design, I'm going to repeat the same row for the entire sample. I will not punch a whole card. You can choose to do that if you want, but this way you can save up on punch cards. I'm going to show you how to set up the machine. Insert the punch card into the card reader, just make sure it's nice and straight, and then to insert it, all you have to do is to press and rotate this dial here. I'm going to use these clips to secure it so it's a continuous loop. We'll use this little button here to set up how I want my machine to read the card. If you put the little button where the red dot is, it will lock the card, so that means it will repeat the same row over and over again. And if you leave the button where the triangle is, it will just knit normal. I'm going to leave it at normal for the moment. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick trial to make sure I'm setting my needles to the right designs, and then I'm going to lock the card to repeat the same row over and over again. We'll cast on some waste yarn. I have every other needle in action, and I will knit one row in waste yarn. We'll attach the comb and then put all the needles back in action and then pull them all the way out before knitting one row. We'll knit a few rows in waste yarn. Then I will put my carriage into KC position. I'm using a brother machine, and in order to do that, all I have to do is turn this dial on the carriage. You will notice that now the punch card will start to move. I'm going to knit a few rows until I get to the design that I want to use for this demonstration, and that is 2 needles out and 4 needles in. After knitting a few rows, I managed to get to what I wanted, 2 needles for one color and 4 needles for the other color. Now I need to make sure that my card reader will repeat this row, and in order to do that, we have to put the button on the red dot like so. It is time to add my colors. I will use 2 shades of pink for this sample. We'll place the yarn through the feeder. The light pink will go in feeder A. This is just as we would normally feed our yarn on a brother machine, and the darker pink will go in feeder B, like so. Before starting knitting, in order to knit 2 colors, we have to press the MC cam. Press this button and you are ready to go. If you need to release the MC cam, gently press on any other cams to release it, or take your carriage from KC position. So the needles that are a little bit out, those are the needles that we punched holes for, and they will knit in dark pink, so the yarn in feeder B. And the needles that are in just normal knitting position will knit with the light pink, so the yarn in feeder A. So now that we've taken that out of the way and we know how to use the punch card, I will show you how to create a ladder and a few design ideas, hoping to inspire you. Using my one prong transfer tool, we'll transfer one stitch to the left like so, and I'm going to leave this needle out of action to create a ladder. Knit 2 rows and do another transfer as before to have a 2 needle ladder. Continue until you have a 4 needle ladder. You can try different versions of this. You can make larger ladders, or you can have more needles in between the ladders. There are a lot of options for you to explore. Now that we have a 4 needle ladder, knit 2 more rows. We'll begin closing the ladder up. I'm going to grab the purl bar from the last stitch and I will increase this way. Repeat the process until you close the ladder up and you're back to the beginning. You can go ahead and repeat the process and create another ladder like before. The reason I'm making this video is because I really love the sample. So because we are mixing colors, we have double floats for the ladders and they are two different colors, which is super cute. I am knitting using lamb's wool. The light pink is a 1/14 and I'm using 2 plies of it. The darker pink is 2/14 and I'm using 1 ply of it. So I have completed one more repeat. For the next repeat, I will change it a little bit. So instead of transferring from the right side towards the left, I will do the opposite, just as before, transferring 1 stitch at a time and knitting 2 rows in between. To close up the ladder, I will again grab the purl bar and increase stitches like so. I completed another repeat, and as before, with every repeat I will alternate, so now I will again transfer from right towards the left. I think this sample looks much better than the previous one, in which we transferred in one direction only. We'll show you a different way in which you can increase stitches to close up the ladder now to create a different design. Instead of grabbing the purl bar, you can just put one of the floats onto the needle like so and you will get a slightly different effect. And this is how the sample looks like. I really hope you liked this technique and you've learned a few things or at least got inspired. If you tried this sample out or any variations of it, please don't forget to tag me on Instagram because I will love to share that as well. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and I will see you next time. Bye!